Hi everyone, welcome back. This time it's for my July check-in. I'm so sorry that this is actually being uploaded pretty late. It's been quite a month and I'll get into more details later. But first I'd like to thank everyone for supporting my videos and for new subscribers to my channel and to my blog. I really do appreciate it. I'm not really on here to seek out popularity or, find as many viewers and subscribers as possible. I'm really using this as sort of a video journey kind of record on my trying to pare down my life and switch to natural. And so I think it's so cool that for those who have subscribed, that you find me worthy enough to do so. And so I'd like to thank you and hope you stick around for new updates. I haven't been updating my blog as much as I'd like to either. It's just been a crazy month. I did start off the month of July with some pretty fun events. I went to the Renaissance Fair, which is one of my favorite things to do each year. If you live near one, I highly encourage you to go check it out. It's great. If you love history, if you love England, it's just a fun place to go see. There's lots of fun shows, performances, lots of local vendors, and vendors that do travel too and sell their wares, but a lot of handcrafted things, which is really cool. And then I also got to see New Order play at Summerfest on July 3rd, and then July 4th I actually celebrated by going to Old World, Wisconsin, which is this sort of colonial village, or multiple colonial villages built on several acres, and you get to see people do demonstrations of how people lived back in the day. And since I love history and just the simplicity of farm life, it was just really fun. So that was my start to July. Aside from that, and speaking of simplicity, I've actually spent this entire month really starting to pare down. And the reason for that is we've got our house on the market, and it's getting down to it where we want to make sure that if we do close on the house, we want to be able to pretty much move out of here as soon as we can, especially if they give us a closing date relatively last minute, which can happen. And so we've been giving away a lot of things, donating them, giving them to family and friends, furniture, things like that. And we've been paring down pretty much everything we own. We have some things in storage unit right now. Now that I'm starting to pack our kitchen items, it's down to 2 plates, 2 bowls, and really sort of kind of experimenting almost with a minimalistic lifestyle. Not that we want to be minimalists, but I like the concept of keeping only things that we need, that we will use, and not accumulate too many items that are not useful. I like that idea of spending money on quality versus quantity. And I think I've spoken about this too in previous videos, that letting go has become addictive. I've let go of craft items, I've let go of sentimental things, and I am a sentimental creature. So that for me was the hardest. If I write something down on a piece of paper, I feel like I need to keep it. Don't even ask me why, but paper collecting is just so easy. I don't know, maybe it's because I find inspiration in something, or I think, oh, this recipe is going to work. Or, I had a memory tied to this piece of paper. Can't let it go. But once you start kind of going through the process of letting things go, I feel like you feel this weight lifted off your shoulders. And it's such a great feeling. So I wonder sometimes, this is how minimalists probably feel on a daily basis. they aren't loaded down, they're not weighed down by the things that they have. And so that's our goal, is to just hang on to things that matter to us, that are practical to us on our, everyday living, and spending our money on experiences. And that's where we are right there. And this has also led to the capsule wardrobe. So I've read, oh, do I have the book? No, I think I put it away. It's Lessons from Madame Chic by Jennifer L. Scott. She has a channel here on YouTube, and I highly encourage you to go check her out because her book is just my absolute guide to living. I've read it so many times, and I decided that I needed to just buy it because I flip through it all the time. I refer to it. I use it as motivation. There's a section that she proposes the 10-item wardrobe. I haven't gotten that to that level. I'm still kind of going through my clothing and seeing what I'm reaching for, what I'm not wearing, and might as well just wear down the things that I have right now instead of going out and just buying a new wardrobe to start. The 10-item wardrobe is just kind of a guide, so you don't have to stick to it, but she talks about having core items and then extras to kind of amplify your outfits, which I think is a great concept because then you're buying the things that you love and you're wearing the things that you love instead of having a closet full of items and then opening it up every morning and saying, I have nothing to wear, which I have gotten to that point. And so in the past few months, I've been kind of paring down, getting rid of things that I don't wear, and my closet is a little under half of what it was, if that, and including pajamas, sleepwear, gym wear, jeans, t-shirts, all of that, and seasonal items. I've gotten everything to fit into a mid-sized suitcase, which is about, I want to say 50-ish items. That's not including shoes, so I do have some shoes. And I feel like now that I've been living with that sort of, I guess, capsule wardrobe, my version of the capsule wardrobe for now, it's so much easier to create outfits and it's so much easier to plan. I work in an office too, so I did need work clothes, and that's including the work clothes too, but eventually I'll have a capsule wardrobe separately for just work and then one for weekends and, days off. I just love the idea. It's not having as much, not having to worry about as much. And as I'm paring down my clothes, my beauty items, things I own, I don't feel like I have to spend my time dealing with it. You get the moments where you just come home and there's just messes everywhere. Now that I've gotten down to more of the things that I love, I realize I take care of it better. I put them away or put them where they need to be as soon as I use them or as soon after I use them. And I'm not dealing with the messes. And so I'm not spending as much time having to organize or clean the things in my house. So that's a great point that I've discovered. So some of you might be wondering why I'm suddenly so into paring down and simplifying my life. My husband and I want to move to Portland, Oregon. We live in Wisconsin right now. Our family's here, and we both grew up here, but it's not for us. We want to move to the West Coast. It's more of in line of how we want to live our lifestyle, and the tiny house movement is there. So we're really kind of researching how we want to live our life in a tiny house. Right now, we have the luxury of making those sort of adventurous decisions because we don't have kids. We just have 2 bunnies and 3 gerbils, so they don't take up that much space, but they do need space. And my husband and I do need space, and so we've been researching maybe not necessarily the traditional tiny house, which is usually about an average of 194 square feet. There are some that are 300 square feet or nearly 400 square feet. So we're kind of looking into that. We love the idea of not being in debt with a mortgage payment, not having to maintain the house. When you get a house, there comes repairs and just all sorts of problems, and we're kind of done with that right now. And once again, just living in a small space, so it kind of makes you more constricted in what you bring into the house. Living in a tiny house just seems like a great way for us to save money and be able to travel before we decide to start a family. So that's kind of the reason why I've been doing so many kind of simplifying videos, not necessarily simplifying videos, but mentioning them in my videos, in case you're wondering. So aside from reading Lessons from Madame Chic, I've actually finished up quite a few books. Do I still have the list? I finished The Happiness Project, The Joy of Living with Less, both sort of guides to simplifying and living a minimalistic sort of life. Both were okay, but it's interesting to see the process of how somebody else deals with their stuff and how they go about paring down and getting rid of things. For each person, it's very personal, obviously, because we all have sentimental ties to different things, and how our thought process works too. It's just very interesting. And then there was another book called Belle, The Slave Girl and the Lord Chief Justice, which was a very fascinating book on, I think, the 18th century England of a black woman living a pretty privileged life in England, which was also during the time of the slave trade. So if you're at all interested in that, it's based on a true story or real people. I highly recommend that because that was also made into a film, which recently featured in the nearby independent film theaters. So, and then what I'm currently reading is The Daughter of Siena, and this is actually sort of like a historical fictional book about a woman who during the 18th century is from a very prominent sort of Italian family, and there's rivalries and romance and intrigue. I can't put this book down. I just started it yesterday, and I'm already, well, I guess that's not very far, but I've been pretty busy, so that's as much reading as I'm going to get done for a while, but can't put this book down because it is just fascinating. It's been a long time since I've read a book where I just can't let it go, and all I want to do is just read it. So highly recommend that one. And I think that's it for currently reading. And then I also wanted to cover making my own foundation. So I don't even remember when I tried doing this, but I've had it for a while. I kept it so I can just do this video and show you. Thoughts on this? So, okay, I'm not even gonna, that's what it looks like. I don't want to spill it all over my laptop here. I like the idea that it's made from basic ingredients that you can pretty much find in your spice cabinet, in your pantry. So cocoa powder, turmeric, ginger powder, nutmeg, cinnamon, yeah, and a base of cornstarch or bentonite clay. I like that idea. It sounds simple and it sounds easy, but I spent over half an hour trying to slowly measure out the ingredients so I can match it to my skin tone. And I think it's a lot easier to make your own foundation if you have paler skin. Now, I have yellow undertones under my skin, obviously, because I'm Asian. And so it took me a long time to try to find the right shade to match. Second, do-it-yourself foundation is not going to be any sort of coverage at all. It's more like just a sheer sort of all-out blend to balance out your skin, if anything like that. So no coverage at all. And second, when you start getting into deeper skin tones, it's not going to sit on your skin. It's not even going to stay on your skin, at least for me. I swatched it on my hand and it doesn't come out as that very nice fine finishing powder or skin powder that you're going to get when it's professionally made. It is going to clump, and I don't know if it's because there's still moisture in some of the I think maybe the ginger powder or something, but it just kind of clumps. It sits on top of the skin. It doesn't blend in at all. So in the end, I think I'm just going to leave that up to the professionals. So that's my thought on the do-it-yourself foundation. It was fun to try, and like I said, it was from pantry ingredients that pretty much I had, so decided to give it a whirl, and it, didn't work out. I wanted to mention that my Naked 2 palette, I have actually hit pan. And I'm going to also try to tip this over without spilling the contents on my keyboard. So, as you can see, I've hit pan on that color right there, and I'm close to hitting pan on this one and this one. And I am super excited because, first of all, Urban Decay I don't believe is cruelty-free, and second, probably not the cleanest of beauty products. I know for sure that Silk Naturals has a dupe for it. They do great dupes for eyeshadows out there. They do a lot of dupes for a lot of the popular shades. So Urban Decay Naked palettes are one of them. They have the collection. I have the Bare Necessities 3 palette. I decided to just go straight for the natural one, right when the Urban Decay came out with the 3rd palette. And as soon as this one runs out with all of my favorite colors, I'm going to purchase the dupe for that Bare Necessities 2, and I'm super excited about that because this is the palette that I reach for nearly every day. Great neutrals, great colors for every day, anytime, with all sorts of looks because there's so many shades to choose from. And then upcoming events, I'm actually going camping in early August, so I'm super excited about that. I'm one of those people that I work with technology. I'm around technology constantly. I just need to unplug, unwind, relax, get away from the phone, get away from noise. It'll just be great. I love camping. I'm the pitch a tent, build a fire sort of girl in the end, even though I love glamorous things. So just looking forward to just catching up on reading and being in nature. It's one of my favorite things to do every year. Once again, thank you so much for the new subscribers to my blog and my channel. I really appreciate that. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.